And we will see Mark Stone in his first All-Star game, along with Jonathan Marchessault, who was on vacation in Cabo San Lucas when he got the call. And Alex Pietrangelo and Kevin BX's ringside. Kevin?
Hey guys, it looks like Marchessault and Wilson are having a little discussion. Maybe a fight to kick the game off here? Get the crowd into it?
That might do it.
I think everybody likes to look at lines, though, in these All-Star games. And we have Connor and Leon with, I think, Eberle, the former Oiler. I think they're coming up next year. It'll be a good line to watch.
Wilson scores. That didn't take long. In fact, almost the fastest goal in All-Star game history, as John Gibson gets beat by the villain, Tom Wilson.
Well, you know, late edition for Alexander Ovechkin, and you go back to the Stanley Cup final and the Washington Capitals, all the different things that happened in this building, and Wilson, enemy number one, gets things started with the game's first shot. For Gibson, that's a tough one to handle early on. Rod Brind'Amour played his hunch, and it paid off with the early goal.
Little confusion there by the officials, what was happening. I think they were just going to let him play it, run on.
13 seconds, the time of the goal. The All-Star game record, 12 seconds for the first goal. Here they come again. Oh, blast that blind. He's out there. 3 forwards for Rod Brind'Amour. Got Gensel and Claude Giroux out there along against Marchessault, Stone, and Pietrangelo. The 3 Golden Knights trying to get a response.
Interesting, I have Pete DeBoer, the coach of the Golden Knights. After his 3 guys get scored on 30 seconds in, he keeps them out there. Maybe a confidence thing?
Trying to get them cranked up. You know how difficult it is, Kevin. A noon game at any time is a tough one to get the engine cranked up. A noon game in an All-Star in Vegas, it might be a little challenge for these guys to get the cobwebs out.
Well, this guy usually has the cobwebs out. Connor McDavid to work, but knocked off his stick, and Chris Kreider, the leading goal scorer in the league, will take over. He's out there with an Islander, a Ranger and an Islander together as Adam Pelech plays in his first All-Star game, and here's a takeaway by Draisaitl.
I think these games we find that they're early on, it's a little bit of a feeling out process. It's jokes, it's fun, everyone's touching the puck, and then as the game gets on the line a little bit later, we start to see the competitive juices flowing again, and guys want to win and move on.
Jordan Eberle, the former Oiler, out there along with McDavid and Draisaitl. His first All-Star game in over a decade. Here's Draisaitl in front, and that doesn't get to the net, and Pelech sends it ahead. And back the other way goes Hughes. Jack Hughes going to walk in, and that's fought off. A nice stop there by Gibson.
Yeah, good response there by Gibson. You mentioned Brind'Amour. It's interesting, isn't it? You mentioned a Ranger, an Islander, and a Devil all out there together, and Rod never seems to miss a beat to trying to get guys that normally would be at each other's throat to try to come together.
There's Giroux. Terry to the net. Troy Terry, 25 goal scorer on the season. Leading marksman for the Ducks. Slick move there. And that shot is in. And Timo Meier has tied it for the Pacific.
Well, Kevin, you know as a defenseman, you're not playing what you normally would here, where you take the body on a player like Meier because of the danger he has. This one, just a little flip, and then a perfect shot as Anderson thought it was going glove side. Here's that little play. He got up. You don't take the body. That's exactly what happens, and Meier makes him pay.
Yeah, and this is the game. The game is odd man rushes, 2-on-1s, breakaways, but it'll tighten up as we get going, but this is what everybody wants to see.
Well, Tom Wilson got that in the paint. Gibson tried to freeze it, now keeps it going, and they'll hit up ice.
Usually you find if you guys get embarrassed a few times, then your competitive juices kind of get flowing, and you don't want to have it happen again. That's usually where the intensity will ratchet up a little bit.
It is all smiles on ice right now. Everyone's having a good time. Obviously, it's Vegas, and everybody had a good time last night, but
look at Giroux on a play. Did you see that? Claude Giroux in his 7th All-Star game with a highlight reel goal.
Even John Gibson looking at that one saying, oh man, how did he get in all alone? And you know, this is going to be an interesting guy come trade deadline time, don't you think? Claude Giroux, still one heck of a player. Here's a little example of backhand, forehand. Gibson, no chance on that one. the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers. Will he remain a Flyer after the deadline, or could he add a real spark to a contending team?
For non-All-Star reasons, the guy in the most focus or spotlight on All-Star weekend.
Maybe a little bit of coaching here. We got 3 forwards out for the Pacific. I know they're short defensemen, but
look out, Kreider's in, and a goal for the Metropolitan. And it's 3-1.
And quick shifts. This Carolina Sebastian Aho gets a little pat on the back, and turnovers are always a big part of the game, but there's the tip back as Gensel gets it over to Aho, and tough start here as it always is for goaltenders, but Gibson thinking it's going backhand to the glove side, and Aho with such great patience. What a year he's having. 19 goals on the year, 45 points, and he's made it a 3-1 game.
Well, Johnny Gaudreau's on the bench. Johnny, your team a favorite, but the Metropolitans come out here pretty quick.
Yeah, we got to get a few back here.
Back out the Golden Knights, and that deflection off the stick of Adrian Kempe. So now the California guy out with the Golden Knights, Marchessault in front of the net, and that hopped over the stick of Kempe.
Johnny, how are the lungs feeling early? You've had a couple shifts now.
I had 1 shift there. Felt all right. I'm kind of sitting back. We have 1 defenseman, so we're in trouble here.
That's true. The Pacific, the only team with just 1D. Here comes Kreider again, and a blocker stop there by Gibson. Puck comes out to center, and here's a break. You know who? And stopped by Frederik Andersen.
Oh, good job by Andersen. He was backing up, trying to match the speed of McDavid, and able to close the 5-hole at the last second.
Tom Wilson in again, trying to set up Zach Werenski. Now fed ahead out of the reach of Pietrangelo, and Kuznetsov's the last man back for the Metropolitan. And now a lead feed. Tom Wilson's all over it here, and Gibson stops him. That's 3 or 4 chances for Wilson here in the opening 5 minutes.
And taking advantage of his late chance to be an All-Star and doing a good job with it.
Back in Giroux, centering play, and Gibson a tough stop there off Kuznetsov. Now Pietrangelo back and tried to hook up with McDavid. That doesn't work. Draisaitl will follow and has to regroup with Pietrangelo trapped offside. Alex Pietrangelo recently hit the 500-point plateau. A centering pass broken up, and Jake Gensel's away. The first ever Nebraska-born player in the All-Star game. And Giroux stopped by Gibson.
I'll tell you, Gibson's been pretty sharp. He's had 8 shots on net already. And most of them are grade A's. I'm sure he's having a blast.
Yeah, as goaltenders do, don't they?
Aho, Gensel, Giroux. Look at Giroux. Dangling, Gensel unable to play that from his skates.
You got to think about when he was younger, and even now, Giroux, like his skill set is just so high. Like in Shinny, you could probably never get the puck off him.
Yeah, you saw just his ability in those tight quarters. Got great hands and good reads. Nifty, and you know, not the fastest guy, but he's one of those players that's hard to hit and finds a way to get through you. Here's Johnny.
Johnny in a close, stopped by Frederik Andersen. Good chance for Gaudreau. Back the other way, Kreider. Kreider goes to the front of the net. There's a nice play by Jack Hughes, but Gibson stops that.
Nice pass behind the back.
Beverly in, and Andersen got enough of that.
This is what Johnny was talking about. They only have 1 defenseman, so now you see him playing a little bit defense, covering up, skating backwards. Probably not his game.
Well, you know, you defensemen never trust forwards being back, do you?
I was going to say, notice how BX underscores the importance of that.
Well, you guys can't skate backwards, Simmer. That's why.
Yeah.
Up ahead, Gaudreau back out there. Along with the goal scorer, Meyer. And there is Timo Meyer. He had a 5-goal game earlier this year. A pass across for Terry, who teams a bouncing puck. Tracked by Werenski. A stick there by Kuznetsov playing defense.
Have you ever seen Tom Wilson play an NHL game with a big smile on his face?
Yeah.
He is having a blast right now.
And a breakaway pass here. Kuznetsov's in. Gibson down and outweighted him.
There's Johnny back on D again. Giroux get back to turn it over.
And a Mark Stone chances. Stopped by Anderson. Place would have exploded if Stone would have scored there.
Well, one thing you don't get any of is whistles other than goals, it seems. Goaltenders trying to keep the play going. Little end-to-end action.
2 10-minute periods here. Kempe and Stone back in. And a weak backhand. Gensel back there defensively, trying to flip it ahead. That was cut off. And Terry stripped of the puck by Gensel. Here comes Giroux, who leads the Metropolitan in career 3-on-3 points. Always dangerous in this segment. And a terrific pass there. And a chance is stopped by Gibson. Kempe back to the attack. Gensel, the lone man back. Kempe centers, but nobody there.
You always wonder in these games, you know there's not going to be any contact because it's an all-star game, but you always wonder if there's that one guy that might just throw a nice hit just to maybe get the crowd into it.
Here's a chance for Aho blasting it wide. The rebound. Gibson able to get a piece of that.
Well, Kevin, would you say the Vegas odds-on favorite would be number 43?
Yeah, I think here comes Mark Stone all the way. Stone in. And Anderson able to stop him as Stone almost crashed into the inboards.
I think for it to happen, it has to be maybe two ex-teammates or buddies doing it to one another.
Jack Hughes whistled it wide. Out with Adam Pelech, a chance in front, and it deflected off McDavid to John Gibson. 6 minutes without a whistle here. Draisaitl centers McDavid, and Anderson will sweep that away and send the Metropolitan back, led by Kreider. 12 goals in his last 10. A goal tonight, and a big save there by John Gibson as Kreider tried to double dip. Might be his best save of the period.
Absolutely. Keep this thing close. He's been the busier of the two.
So maybe time for one more. Rush, Marchessault, clock draining, Draisaitl. Fans trying to alert him that the time was running out. And there's 10 minutes in the books. Freddie Anderson pretty solid at one end, and John Gibson much busier at the other. And it's 3-1 for the Metropolitan. So again, the winner of this game will go to the final against the winner of the other matchup between the Atlantic and the Central. Here is Pietrangelo, and there's Tristan Jarry's first stop. And back the other way comes Tom Wilson. 43 came to play. In front it goes. Zach Werenski is stopped on the play, and the other goaltender,
Thatcher Demko had some great moments against the Vegas Golden Knights. So now in their building, he shuts the door here. He's going to have to be pretty good, don't you think, Chris, in this second half here to try to get his team back in this game.
There's a back pass broken up, and back the other way comes Gensel, flipping it ahead. Werenski has a break and hits the goalpost. Thatcher Demko, the 7th Vancouver Canuck goalie to be an All-Star. One of them, of course, our buddy John Garrett, who was the MVP back in one of those games for 40 minutes. But unfortunately, a guy named Gretzky scored 4 goals in the third period to take the keys away.
Kind of scooped it there at the end, didn't he? And I know Kevin last night got a chance to talk a little bit with Demko, first California-born goaltender, second California-born player to be an All-Star. The other one, Austin Matthews, who was born there and grew up, though, in Arizona.
Well, you sense that he's got a lot of pride in being the first goaltender from California. And I'll tell you guys, hockey's really growing there. There's some really good minor hockey players, and he's obviously the face of that right now.
We got to get some good minor hockey coaches there, right, Kevin?
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working. We're too busy flying to Toronto every weekend.
Giroux in front for Jake Gensel, and that's taken away. And Johnny Gaudreau scampers back to center. Troy Terry's got a lane to the net. And Tristan Jarry shuts it down.
Well, how about Tristan Jarry? A couple of big saves here to start, and boy, the way the Pittsburgh Penguins caught fire, great payoff for Jarry to be here. He's second time here, last time as a replacement, this time really earning his task of being here, having a great season in Pittsburgh.
That pass from Giroux didn't hit the target. Troy Terry starts back with Kempe and Giroux, and that slipped redirect pass, and Jarry able to stop Giroux in tight. Back the other way, Kreider drops it off for Pelech. Kreider holds on.
We're trading chances a little bit here, but you're starting to see a little bit more back checking and aware of not, maybe giving up too many odd man rushes. Close game here.
Hughes tried to dangle, taken away by Marchessault, and Marchessault back in with Stone. Mark Stone in first All-Star game, and Pete DeBoer said way overdue, but if it's going to be a first, nice that it could be in front of the home fans. Now Draisaitl in front, Marchessault scores.
Well, there's a great example of it's not a target you're trying to hit, it's just an instinctive shot, and Marchessault with a beautiful in tight and feed from Draisaitl, a quick release and up and over the glove of Tristan Jarry.
So 2:57 the time of the goal. Draisaitl sets up Marchessault, and it's a one-goal game. So 3-2 with just under 7 minutes remaining in this matchup between the Pacific in blue and the Metropolitan in white. Draisaitl, the assist on that goal that made it a one-goal game. Back in comes Stone with Draisaitl, and a return pass is broken up there by Wilson, who played some defense.
Yeah, Tom Wilson stood his ground there. That might have been a tap-in for Stone had he not been there to get his stick in the way.
You see Stone, one of the best things of his game is his takeaways, stripping the puck at the blue line to create that 2-on-1 with Draisaitl.
Here's McDavid in front, and Tristan Jarry makes that stop and sends it away for Kuznetsov. And Kuznetsov holds on, swings in behind the net, tracked by McDavid, and that's turned aside. Demko with another stop here.
Talk about another guy pretty smooth with the puck is Kuznetsov, isn't he? He's got that Sergei Fedorov wide-legged glide when he has it.
Boy, he'll have fond memories of this building. 3 points in a Stanley Cup clinching game at the Fortress. And now a breakaway the other way. It's Jordan Eberle in, scores.
Well, how about that moment for Eberle? It's been 10 years between All-Star appearances for him. Had a career year in Edmonton 10 years ago, got an opportunity to be in an All-Star game here in his first year with the Seattle Kraken. Not exactly the blinding speed, but the great hands inside, little stick handle, get the goaltender back and up and over the glove to tie this game.
Simmer, to your point, people don't remember, this guy was an elite player 10 years ago with Edmonton when they were going through some of their struggles there and weren't getting as many wins. He was always their first-line winger, staple, offensive, creative. Great to see him back at that level again.
First hat trick in Seattle Kraken history, registered by Eberle, and it's a tie game, and now McDavid in front looking for him. Eberle broken up, but following up. A near steal there. But the Metropolitan works it ahead, and here's Giroux winding up and firing, and Demko stops that.
And I'll get a little bit of pace. You got a tie game now. You heard what Johnny Gaudreau said. Win that first game so you can enjoy the rest and be in the final and be in the mix for the $1 million prize.
Aho back to work with Gensel, slides it in front, and Demko there again. Giroux comes up with a puck in front, and he's been dangling. Gensel, and another big stop. Demko looks terrific in this second period, doesn't he?
Right, and then another example of Claude Giroux is Kevin was saying, just great hands in tight to create that chance and force Demko to make a good save.
He's one of those guys that's just tailor-made for, obviously he's a great player during games and playoffs, but for Shinny, I don't think there's anyone that could be better than him.
Only Bobby Clark has been to more All-Star games as a representative of the Philadelphia Flyers. There's an offside as Everly touches the puck, but Everly has scored the tying goal. Here's his first ever NHL goal, and that was a beauty against the Alberta rivals. Everly tying it up here. Well, it's been a fun weekend for the NHL Stars in Vegas, and a good start to the All-Star game here. Game tied. Pete DeBoer behind the bench of the Pacific Division. Pete, team got off to a slow start, but they're right back in it.
Slow start, game turned around. Demko a couple huge saves at our end, and the little guy Marchessault, who scored a ton of big goals in this building over the years, got us back in it with that second goal.
Peach, what's it meant to you to be behind your home bench here, have all your staff, three of your players be involved in this special moment on home ice?
It's awesome. You know, you rarely get that opportunity, if ever. So we're making sure that we enjoy every minute of it, and to be able to have it at home with our home fans here, and it's been fantastic.
I know you love looking down that bench and seeing all the stars. How good's it going to be to look down your bench and see Jack Eichel?
Oh, it'll look pretty good. We're not there yet. You know, he's going to be cleared for contact coming out of the break, I believe, so that'll be the next step. But you don't want to get too excited until it becomes a reality.
Well, Pete, you got some business to do now with 3:44 to go. Thanks for being with us.
Better get to work. See you guys.
Johnny Giroux got a piece of that one, and it actually went perfectly right onto the stick. And he tried to knock that pass down, and it wasn't Minnie Hughes in this one. It was Jack getting that one up and over the glove of Demko. No stick in the crowd that time, though, eh, Kev?
Oh, I wish. What a great celebration that was. Just wondering, like, how much Pietrangelo is going to play in the end here, being the only defenseman on the team. I know they need a goal, but can't give up too many more. This is over.
By the way, Mini Jack Hughes, we should have mentioned last night, was Prekin Scapetto, who is the 10-year-old son of the New Jersey Devils equipment man. So he deserved a little credit for a great performance last night. Here comes Johnny. Fought off by Tristan Jarry. Now Zach Werenski, who won the fountain face-off last night. Here he comes and misses that stick side. And Giroux sends it all the way back. Tristan Jarry sends it to center. That's turned over, and here comes an opportunity. Jarry has to make a save. Another chance in front as Terry had a couple of looks.
Again, 5-hole they tried, and Jarry's been able to close it 3 times. He's made some in-tight saves at critical times, and then a good stick to not allow that pass to get across.
Well, Terry was just saying on the bench, I hope you guys are saying some nice stuff about me. And I'm like, well, you got to actually do something out here for us to do that. So he's trying to put one in. He's a shooter. He's got one of the best shots in the league.
And he's third in shooting percentage at 25.3%. That's in the Simpson range.
He's also a breakaway expert if he gets one. We all know about the World Junior stories, the three shootout goals against the Russians, and then the Canadians in the finals, all 5-hole. Love to see a breakaway for him here.
Here's Giroux. Gensel scores. Well, Claude Giroux with another sweet feed. And it's a 2-goal lead for the Metropolitan.
And Kevin, what'd you say about forwards skating backwards? Not a good idea. This is another example. Draisaitl back and Gensel, as he's done so often, 5 straight 20-plus goals. Turnover here and good patience on the one side. Draisaitl playing the 2-on-1, kind of got a little bit too ahead of it, and there's Claude Giroux with just a perfect pass on the tape and in the back of the net.
Johnny, we got 2:20 left here. How are we going to get back in the game? I feel like I'm on your team because I'm right here. I want you guys to win. What's the plan?
I don't know. I think we might have to pull the goalie here soon.
Pull the goalie?
Yeah.
Well, there's some talk about it behind you there.
Well, Marchessault's got one of the Pacific goals. Swung around for Draisaitl. Draisaitl for Marchessault. In front of the net, it's Terry turning back. Adam Pelech there in a defensive posture for the Metro.
Yeah.
Draisaitl out. Not with McDavid on this shift. May need to turn 97 loose in the last 90 seconds or so.
97's ready. Here he goes.
No. You hear that? No, that was a sort of soft attempt at the Michigan there behind the net by Kreider.
There is McDavid handing it off, and Meyer whipped that wide. Kreider ahead. McDavid watching him. There's the goaltender going to the bench. So the empty net, and it's Jack Hughes scoring again. And that should do it.
Well, Kevin, there was your pull of the goal. He didn't quite work at the appropriate time.
It took some time, Simmer, to get Thatcher's attention because he was down there. It's the All-Star game, right? He's not thinking about getting pulled, with 2 minutes left, but worth a try. Got to try to win, right?
So Jack Hughes with the go-ahead goal and a little bit more insurance for the Metro, the youngest player in this All-Star game and the fourth career Devil to play an All-Star game under 21 years of age, along with Kirk Muller, Scotty Gomez, and Joe Cirella. Tom Wilson set the tone. Kuznetsov's had a good game. Back for Wilson. And we're in the last minute. Slick move Kuznetsov. Aho trying to give it back. And Mark Stone was there. Marchessault dashes in. The Golden Knight players back out for this late shift. Marchessault tried to center it. That's off the skate to Pietrangelo and out. Stone checks the clock, under 30 seconds left.
Well, these are the only two teams that have won in the All-Star game. As a tap in there for Stone.
Well, that gives the hometown fans more to cheer about. Marchessault earlier, and now Mark Stone with a goal, and it's a 2-goal lead with 21.8 remaining.
And the 5 years in this format, the Pacific 3 times, the Metro twice. So unless we have a couple of real quick goals, the Metro will get an opportunity to try to make it 3 as Marchessault is perfect pass across, little tap in past Giroux, who's been pretty solid this period.
You see a little coach-captain relationship there. Pietrangelo actually just pulled Thatcher Demko and had a big smile on his face as he got the glare from the bench.
Well, back in they come. 4-on-3. Stone with a centering play, and that's picked off by Pelech. Try and kill the clock here. Up for Gensel. Protecting it, trying to play keep away. Stone retrieving it. A pass back for Stone in front to Marchessault at the horn. They'll credit him with the goal, but that'll be the last one of this first semifinal. Tristan Jarry has a smile on his face because the Metropolitan has won it and will advance to this 2022 All-Star Game final. Pair of goals for Jack Hughes